Hey everyone, it's Christina. I hope you're all well. Welcome back to my channel. So thank you so much for clicking on this video. So if you are new to my channel, I'm not a professional, I'm just a huge makeup enthusiast and makeup lover. So I love testing out new products and new releases here on my channel, especially indie makeup brands. So I am also a working mum of 3 boys as well, and just something else to note is that I am partially deaf. I'm also a working mum of 3 boys, and just something else to note is that I am actually partially deaf and wear hearing aids, so just in case you think I sound a bit funny or I'm talking a bit funny in this video, just to explain why. So I'm really excited for today's video. We have the new Mocha Moment palette by Gourmande Girls. So I did actually order mine from Monolith EU. So this palette has been out a good few weeks now at this point, but we're generally always a few weeks later with these new releases, especially from the brands from the US. So we'll be going over everything about this palette today. I will be doing 2 looks, swatches, close-ups, and just giving a general overview of the palette as well. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, please keep watching. Okay, so the palette is still available on Monolith EU and the Gourmande Girls website as I'm filming this. So it's the brand's first ever all neutral palette. So there's 15 shades. So 10 mattes and then 5 special shades. So these are a mixture of multi-chromes, dual-chromes, and then intense shimmers. So I absolutely love the tones in this palette. The mauves and burgundies are just my favourite sort of neutrals. So I was just so happy when I saw the colour story of this palette. So now that the swatches are done, let's get into look number 1. Okay, so I'm looking a bit scary. I do already have my foundation and eye primer on, so my face is looking really blank and colourless, but we'll start off with look number 1. I love the mauves and burgundies and plums in this palette, so I think I'm going to use mostly those for look number 1. So I'm going to go in with the shade Maui Mocha, which is like a really kind of dark burgundy, so I'm going to start putting that in the outer corner. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I know, I don't know how many times I've said I need to get some sort of mirror so that I'm not holding a handheld mirror, but I still haven't gotten around to it yet, so hopefully you can still see what I'm doing here from this angle anyway. I absolutely love the colour of this so far. It's like a really deep burgundy plum. I seem to use these sorts of colours all the time, but I just love them. They're my favourites. Mauves, plum, burgundy. I just think they suit everyone really well as well. Okay, so I just sort of had that stamped into a very sort of messy wing on the outer corner, and I'm going to go in now with the shade Mocha Madness. Sorry, I don't want to blind you here. It's more of a kind of mauvey, pinky sort of plum shade. So I'm just going to first of all stamp this colour into the crease just to make sure I get the most amount of pigment from it, and then before I start blending it or anything like that. So it will look a bit crazy at first. This is just kind of how I prefer to lay down eyeshadows, just to get the most amount from them. Okay, and this shade is really pigmented. It's building up really well. It is looking a bit crazy at first just because I haven't blended it out or anything like that, but I just want to get the most amount of pigment from it as possible, and then I can worry about blending it afterwards. I just really want to stamp that in. So just the same brush that I used to lay down the initial dark burgundy shade, and I'm just going to start stamping that back over just to try and start merging the 2 colours together. Oh, I got like dust or something in my eye, so I hope they don't start watering now. I'm trying to get it out. Okay, so I got a lot of pigment from those 2 colours that I put down, so I'm going to go in with this kind of lighter mauve lilac shade called Peppermint Mocha, and I'm just going to start laying that down on the edges of both colours that we put down, just to try and soften it out a bit. Okay, so I'm just laying this on the very edges here just to try and soften out, to make sure there's no harsh edges. This shade is actually really pigmented as well, but I'll go in and soften that out, the outskirts of that one again if I need to. But I'm just kind of laying it here underneath and around the eye. Okay, so I'm just going back in again with the initial darker shades that we put down just to try and blend everything together. So I think I always say as well, the looks I do, these sorts of looks are just a case of going back in and back and forth with the same shades just to make sure you're happy with how everything is blending together. Okay, Okay, so I actually just wiped off a bit of the shades that I put on my lower lash line because I forgot I wanted to go in with the kind of more grey toned lavender here called Cafe Mocha. Okay, so I'm just using like a really small shader brush and I'm just packing that kind of, it's more like it's more of a cool toned, grey toned sort of lavender, I'd say. Does actually come up on me quite grey with a hint of purple in it, but I really like the shade. And just going underneath this more grey toned lavender, so just with that same kind of light mauve shade Peppermint Mocha, just to make sure everything is kind of nicely blended out here. Okay, so it's looking a bit like I got punched in the eye right now, but it should come together in the end. I'm just going to go on the lid with the shimmer shade Mexican Mocha. So I've kind of ruined the imprint here just from doing the swatches, but it does have more of like a pinky sort of gold base with shimmers of purple in it. So I just sprayed my brush just to make sure I don't get any fallout all over my face, and I'm just going in with that shimmer shade. Okay, so that is a gorgeous shade. It's just come up slightly darker than I wanted it to initially. So I think I'm going to go in with this lighter shade called Java Mocha, and it's like a pink to gold flip duochrome, I would say. So hopefully that will kind of brighten up the look a bit. And I'm just going to start laying this down on top. Yeah, that's definitely working to brighten it up. It's kind of more the brightness that I wanted. The other shade, the Mexican Mocha, is lovely, but it's just coming up a bit dark for what I wanted right now. I did kind of want a really bright shimmer on the lid. And they layer really well together as well. It's like a kind of pinky gold. Just going back in with Mocha Madness again, just in the crease, just to make sure the shimmer is all blended. And I'm just going to go in with that burgundy shade Maui Mocha just to line the upper lash line as well, but I think I am going to go over it with an eyeliner as well. Okay, so I'm just going in with the shade Marble Mocha, which is like that silvery sort of lavender flaky shimmery shade on the inner corner now. So I did spray my brush just so that it doesn't fall all over my face, but we'll see if I get, oh my god, it's so, that's so bright. It is a really flaky shimmer shade. I do love that because it's so bright and impactful, but I'm just going to try and kind of blend it out a bit better so it's not just like really chunky looking. You can see how bright and shimmery that is. I do wish I actually put that on the lid now just because it is so bright, but it's still really nice in the inner corner. It really brightens it up. Okay, so here's what we're looking like so far. I did actually go in with a kind of sheer white brightening face powder just on the inner corner to blend out that shimmer, just because there are kind of large chunks of like a grey sort of lavender in it. It kind of was making my inner corner look a bit grey around the outskirts, so I think that face powder did kind of brighten it up a bit, just because there is no lighter kind of matte shade in the palette to do that. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish off my face and catch up with the other eye and put on liner and lashes, and then we'll be back to see the final look. Okay, so here's the finished look number one, and I'll include a few close-ups now. So I absolutely love how this look turned out with the shades that I used. It's right up my street. I love all these purples and burgundies and mauves, like I said at the start. Absolutely no issues with any of the mattes so far. They all blended together really well. So even though there's no black shade in the palette, I was still able to build up quite a bit of depth in the outer corner as well, just with using that really deep burgundy shade. And the shimmers are amazing so far. Okay, so moving on to look number two now. Hello, okay, back for the second look. I do have a Can of Monster with me here again today, just because I need something to keep me going. I really want to try and get this video up tonight if possible. Okay, so just starting off with the shade Mellow Mocha, which is sort of like a khaki brown. Okay, so I'm just going to start stamping that into the crease here. And it's really pigmented off the bat straight away, which is good, but I'm just going to start stamping this in. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with the shade Mocha Mousse now, which is the namesake shade for the palette, I suppose, what the palette took inspiration from. The Pantone colour of the year, but I'm just going to go over the outskirts of that green that we put down just to try and soften it up a bit. There is a bit of kickback from that shade, but I think I kind of went into it a bit too heavy-handed, so that could be why. Just to try and soften up the outskirts of this green that we put down. And I really need to get my eyebrows done as well. They're looking a bit bonkers right now. Just because the way I have to lay them down so that they just stay put, I kind of look a bit crazy at first until the rest of my makeup is done, but I think that happens to everyone, I suppose, when they do their eyebrows first. But and I'm just sort of tapping that and then slightly blending the outskirts of that kind of khaki coloured green that we put down. And I'm just going back in with that same brush that we used for the first green, no additional shadow on it, just to kind of pat back over, just to kind of merge those two shades together seamlessly. Now that we have those down, I'm going to go in with a really dark green, Chai with Mocha, and I'd say that's more of a kind of deep army sort of green. It's actually a lot of it picked up on my brush there, but I'm just going to start stamping that into the outer corner now. Yeah, that's really, really deep. I am also really heavy-handed as well with shadows. I tend to kind of dig in even when I don't need to, if a shadow is really pigmented. Okay, so I'm just stamping that along the lash line, and I'm just going to take it slightly into the outer corner of the crease here as well. And I really hope you can hear / see what I'm doing again, because I still haven't gotten that mirror that I keep saying I need to get. Okay, so for the first shimmer I'm going to go in with the shade Biscotti with Mocha, and it's a gold, a really intense gold, but it's quite a flaky texture, like a chunky and kind of flaky texture. So I am going to put down glitter glue as well on my lids just to make sure that these don't fall all over my face. I'm actually just using the NYX glitter glue. It's the same one I've had for years now at this point. They actually last a really, really long time. It's like I'm still nowhere near being finished, I think. But I would love to try the Gourmande Girls. They do their own glitter glue, I think, but it's not available on Monolith. It's only available from their own website. So maybe if there is a time in future where I order from them directly and not Monolith, I'll definitely pick that up, because apparently it is really good. I have actually ordered directly from the Gourmande Girls website before and had no issues, but it just kind of depends, I suppose, what's the most cost-effective option at the time you're ordering, because with shipping fees and customs and everything, ordering anything, not just makeup, ordering anything online has just gotten so expensive. Well, everything in general has just gotten so expensive, but especially ordering from brands overseas, it's just gone very, very expensive. Okay, so I'm just taking that shade Biscotti with Mocha just on the same brush I used to lay down the glitter glue, and I'm just going to start stamping that into the outer corner. Okay, so I just zoomed you in there. I think it was a bit far away, but you can probably see this shade is quite chunky. It's more of a kind of flaky texture. It is really intense though, it's lovely at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the shade Churro with Mocha, which was the other kind of more smooth gold, and I'm going to put that on the inner part of the eyelid now, and just see what the two of them look like against each other. Okay, so that shade still has kind of chunky glitter particles in it, but it's just not quite as chunky as the initial Biscotti with Mocha shade, and it does kind of apply a bit smoother. So I'm just going to sort of try and merge those two into each other now, and then I might need to go back on top with a bit of the initial gold shade. Okay, so here's what it's looking like right now. So I think I might have taken that initial gold shade just a bit too far into the outer corner. It's kind of looking a bit strange now just because I haven't built up the depth behind it. So it is kind of looking a bit strange. I think I'm going to go in now with the dark brown shade what's it called, Midnight Mocha, just in the outer corner now, just to kind of try and fade it out a bit. I just took it too far in, or too far out I should say. Okay, so I'm just taking that shade Midnight Mocha just in the very outer corner here, and just not taking too much of it so that it doesn't start blending that gold shimmer everywhere. Okay, so I tried to kind of fix that. It's looking a bit messy right now, but I'm hoping by the time I put eyeliner and everything on and lashes, it'll kind of all come together. I just basically took that gold way too far out into the outer corner. I'm just going to go in with that deep shade Midnight Mocha and just line the upper lash line. Okay, so I did go in with a bit of eyeliner, just black eyeliner, and then a bit of black eyeshadow from a different palette over the top, just because there is no black shadow in that palette. So it's not a huge deal. I just like having a black in the palette just to, because I do like creating a lot of depth. But again, it's not a huge deal. Most people will have a black eyeshadow or multiple black eyeshadows in their collection anyway. So just moving on to the lower lash line now. I think I'm going to go in with the green shade that we haven't used yet. What's it called? Matcha Mocha. Just because I did kind of lose the green tone from those initial shadows that I put down. They kind of look a bit more brown leaning now. They are still slightly green, but it's just not obviously as green as they were when I first put them on. And I'm just gonna kind of use a fluffy brush to put this under the eye now. That's a Sigma E25. So I would definitely say the description or the shade name matches the actual tone of the green as well. It really does just look like matcha. And I'm just bringing that kind of down a bit lower, just to make sure we can still see the green when we go in with a darker shade, kind of closer to the lash line. I'm going to go in with another Sigma brush. So it's the E15 Flat Definer, and I'm just going to go in with that really kind of deep green shade Chai with Mocha, and just press this onto the lower lash line, just kind of closer. And just kind of merge it in as well with that wing. Okay, and now I'm just going in with the pencil eyeliner from Morphe called Everlasting. It's kind of like a khaki sort of green, so hopefully it'll go well with this. Okay. I think that eyeliner is a bit old. It's like quite dry. It's not really going on my eye properly. Okay, so we got the eyeliner on. It's not the smoothest application just because I think it is quite dry. Okay, so here's what it's looking like at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and put on mascara and maybe eyelashes as well, finish the rest of my face, and then we'll be back to see the final look. Okay, so here's the finished look. I really love how this turned out. I actually forgot to do the inner corner on camera, but I did end up going in with the shade Java Mocha, which is over here. It's like a sort of a gold with a green, pink and orange flip, I would say. So I'll include some close-ups now of this look too. So yeah, I really love how this look turned out. I think it's just a really nice neutral look, and then I love the pop of green on the lower lash as well. I love how intense those gold shades are on the lid as well. Just you will need some sort of glitter primer just to make sure that they adhere onto the lid. Some of the shades in this palette are that sort of flaky texture, so you definitely will need something. As well, I also used the Gourmande Girls Mermaid Magic blush and highlight palette, just the peach shade Seashell. Okay, so that's the two looks complete. Thanks so much for watching the video this far, and just to give you a brief overview just of how I feel about the palette so far. Okay, so I'm just trying not to blind you here again with the mirror, but I loved working with this palette so far. I've really enjoyed using all these shades. I love that it's not a palette of just browns and just your standard sort of neutral shades. I love that we have the burgundies, the mauves, and then the greens as well. I think I said at the start of the video as well, the burgundies and the mauves and purples, those are my sort of neutrals. I wear those shades a lot, so I was so happy to see those shades included. It is just something a bit different as well. So I love the variety of textures as well in this palette. Like we have duochromes, multi-chromes and really intense sparkly shimmers. You could, if you wanted just to kind of create a more kind of simple everyday look, you could just use one or two of the mattes and then use one of the shimmers, and it would be a really kind of quick, easy but still impactful sort of look. look as well to do. So in terms of the performance of the shades and how everything worked, I had no issues with how any of the shades worked. The mattes all were really pigmented. I think you could see how much pigment came off each of the mattes that I used, and they all blended together really well. So these two shimmer shades at the top here, Biscotti with Mocha and Marble Mocha, they do seem to be a more thick, chunky, sort of textured shimmer formula, and you do definitely need a glitter primer with those just to make them adhere to your lids. But once they're on your eyelid, they are really bright and impactful, and they do just add a gorgeous shine as well. So with this palette, I'm really happy with my purchase and that I added it to my collection. I know I'll get a lot of use out of this, and it's the exact sort of neutral shades that I reach for just day to day as well. But I'm never going to tell you to go out and buy makeup. So at the end of the day, it's just a matter of figuring out if it's something that you want to buy and you want to add to your collection. So for me anyway, I would say that the Mocha Moment is consistent with their other eyeshadow palettes that they've released so far. It just makes it really easy for me to support the brand, just because I love their products, and also the owner, Christina, is just a lovely person. I think anyone that follows her on Instagram can see that she's such a kind and sweet, caring person, so it just makes it really easy to support the brand and buy their products. Also, the fact that they're on monolith as well, it means that European customers don't need to pay custom fees, and also really high shipping fees as well when we place an order. Okay, so I think that was everything, and I just wanted to say thank you so much again for watching the video this far. So I hope you did find the video useful in some way, and before you go, I'd be so grateful if you could please like this video and also subscribe to my channel as well. So I am a lot more active on my Instagram page as well. If you'd like to give me a follow over there, I'll leave my handle down below as well. But I do try to post reels and photos of the makeup looks I create several times a week over there. So let me know which one of the looks I created was your favourite, and also your thoughts about the palette down below. Have you picked this one up yet, or are you planning to? Okay, so I think that was everything. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye!